Boston, Massachusetts. Sports, coffee, seafood. When people think of Boston, street photography probably isn't at the top of their list. Photography is a chance to express yourself. It's a creative outlet. But when it comes to street photography, there's an opportunity to explore the little cracks and crevices of a city and exhibit society in its rawest form, to capture a moment in time that someone else may see as mundane and bring it to life in a single thought-provoking frame. Over the last year, the COVID-19 pandemic has changed so much, making something that might seem simple incredibly hard, and street photography is no exception, forcing those with the camera in their hands to adapt. The pandemic emptied city streets. Many stayed home, holed up inside, bringing the routine daily hustle and bustle to an eerily quiet halt. For street photographers, that's a problem. People make the pictures. Less smoke breaks, coffee runs, and lunch rushes. Despite the hurdles in their way, photographers have carried on, still getting their shot. Some of history's most famous photographs were taken during its most desperate times. This is one of those times. Through the lens of a skilled shooter, the person you pass by on the sidewalk can be composed into an accurate representation of something. The woman enjoying her espresso in the coffee shop window can be captured through the glass, while the reflection in the window shows a man falling over a break in the sidewalk and a manhole cover steaming. Scenes, imagery, and lighting create unique views of the world in which we live.
It'd be cool if someone walked through there and I got the reflection of the building. Minus that cig butt on the ground, that's nasty. And just kick that shit out of the way. People are the heartbeat of the city, and to not have that, it's sad. There's no other way to really describe it. It's street photography, it's something I can't really fully describe. You know, people might think I'm crazy, but it lets me lose myself, clears my mind, it gets me out there. I mean, it's good exercise. With the pandemic, it's been slow, but when you get that good area you're kind of shooting in and things are happening really fast and you're moving around and you get that shot, and you did it all, and when you get home and you look at what you shot, it's the ultimate feeling. I just want someone on a bike to ride. Like, they'd have to be going through the middle of those arrows. It'd be awesome. But I have like this stuff like framed up, so like in black and white, the contrast of like the white snow and the black and the white on there, putting in the miles in, it's the same thing as shooting as much as you can. It goes hand in hand. It'd be insane if I got this shot. There's like those two arrows for like the bike lane, and then there's that arrow that is like spray painted. And I have to come back to it. I got it with someone just walking through, but it needs to be on a bike. Being downtown Boston early in the morning is already quiet, regardless of the pandemic. For a couple days, it was interesting. I kind of was like, oh, it's kind of nice. Like, the city got calm. Certain areas became a little bit more clean. There's one positive from it. I noticed it during the summertime too. I noticed a lot of areas in the city that had like a nice little turnaround. Because of COVID, when I'm downtown and I'm out, I've like seen the same people walking around. It's like kind of funny. It doesn't always have to be a person. In the right conditions, in the right moment, I think color is kind of cool. I've been shooting torn up posters, stuff that's with like color. Half the time, a lot of my subjects In my scenes, you can't even tell who it is. I do have that more pulled back view at things. Try and get a motion blur shot of this guy on the bike. Like a good Vespa. I like a good motion blur. Yeah, it might actually work kind of maybe with this somehow. Because if you have that, like, nice background, nice depth of field. Someone coming through there maybe. Yeah, that just worked out. It's very quiet around here. And that's been the whole thing with COVID. It's kind of like you take what you can get kind of thing. It's a lot of waiting. And this shot, we literally just walked right up to it. And subject was walking down the street and could have gone straight, or it could have made the left and walked right through the light, and that's what happened and worked out. Yeah, it's actually a cool shot. There's a shot I've been trying to get for probably a couple months, and the timing hasn't been right, but there's always tomorrow. And I need a bike to come through the frame and the light to be right, but I know like around noon, 12:30, I'll come back again, try and make the frame. I'm gonna get that shot. It's gonna happen.
Street photography, black and white, definitely my thing. I enjoy the art of taking the photo. When I'm out and I'm taking pictures, like that's all that really matters. It's my salvation in many ways. I just kind of follow light. Wherever I see a beam, I know that there's a building and some shade, and just try to make that work. Sometimes I chase people, but most of the time I just follow light and just kind of park up and see what comes through. I'm just trying to play in this little area of light, because behind it, it's all dark. If you catch people correctly, there's going to be a part of their body or face that's lit up, and everything else is going to be dark behind them. I am taking a picture of the moment and the participants or the actors that are on the stage in that particular moment. I'm just journaling time, ultimately. You don't get that guy in the cool hat with the suit walking by like right in the middle of the street in downtown Boston anymore. It's not as exciting anymore. There's definitely fewer people around in any given area at any given time. I like angles and architecture, and I like to find different ways to play with the buildings that I probably would never be shooting this without COVID. Just before COVID hit, I was working on a series that would put me within 3 feet of any subject. The idea was to present intimacy, and then COVID hit. I was like, all right, now what? I'm looking at different scenes. I've also been taking more photos at home, because obviously we are at home a lot. There's a certain energy that you feel on the street when you're kind of walking around and you're running into people that when you're having these quick conversations, and you're kind of, just walking a few blocks and playing, and that's definitely been missing over the last year. The thing that really makes it for me and kind of changes and shifts my day is just doing this. It's in the moment, and you kind of roll with what's in the moment. And right now, this is our moment, and this is the moment. We're in the middle of COVID. We may or may not be getting that close to our subjects, but there's still subjects, and there's still the environment that we play in, which is on the street, I think that's what's most important, to ultimately get out there and just keep having fun and doing what you enjoy, Things look a whole lot different now, but that'll change. Yeah, that'll change. Life goes on.
What I want people to understand is this can be an art form that really shows Boston and other places in ways that people might not normally appreciate when they're walking around the city. You're in a place and you can look at it and show it to somebody who's been there all the time but has never seen what you've seen. Street photography is it's an interesting art form. Sometimes the subjects of it don't know what the final piece is going to be. I've been on the street and had people say, you know, you shouldn't be taking our picture. I can think of one moment when somebody said that, and I was looking around, and there were like 6 cameras documenting that conversation with us. You can't walk through the city of Boston without being recorded. People are concerned about their privacy and how their image is used, and I understand that. When I'm at work, I'm focused on my job, but once I get in the car and I start driving home, I'm thinking about photography. It's become this obsession at this point. This is capturing images of people who will be on the subway, and people aren't taking the subway nearly as often. It's a nice setting. I just need people, interesting people doing nice things. Let's go over this way. The word sonder means that moment when you recognize that all of the people around you live a life as full and complete as you do. A lot of times I didn't really think that much about the person. That word made me sort of think about the people that I was capturing images of in a different way than it had before. COVID's completely changed the way that we can work and we can document things. Before, you could, especially in Boston, you could get close to somebody and people wouldn't pay that much attention, but now if you get 10 feet from somebody, they're completely aware of your presence. You're not only making sure that people are aware of your presence, but now you have to think about your own. I'm not a young man, and I'm not old yet, but I'm pretty close. I don't want to risk getting sick myself. There's that idea that restrictions create possibilities. You know, you didn't have the masses of people on the street and you had to figure out what to do. I started looking at things that I had never looked at before. These are images that I could not shoot now, and I probably will not be able to shoot again in my lifetime. They were these signs that business owners were putting in their windows during the immediate lockdown period. They also sort of take the reflections of the neighborhood behind, so that you see not only that it's in the restaurant or the grocery store or the adult boutique or the church, but it reflects the neighborhood around, so that you can kind of see that it's not just these businesses that are closed, it affects everyone around. See, maybe we can go where some more people are. Oh, it's Chinese New Year's. I forgot about that. The fun of street photography is you never know what you're going to run into. It's always something new to see. You don't have that much going on these days. You know, an event like this, I haven't seen in a year and a half. Ideally, you're getting an image that is unaffected or minimally affected by your presence. Well, I've got some pretty light, I just don't have any people. I don't usually listen to music, just like my mind to wander. Sometimes I'll turn on some jazz or something so it's not too distracting.
So we're back again today, and I'm hoping that I can get the bike shot that I want to get. And I'm gonna wait on this side, and hopefully someone on a bike turns that corner and comes down. Unless it's Lance Armstrong, I should be able to not get hit by a car, run across the street, and then hopefully I can make the shot. See what happens. It's just a waiting game now. It just would be really cool if I was to make it happen. I don't think oh shit. Oh shit, he's going. Oh man, he almost just got hit by a car. It's good, but I didn't frame up the yellow lines in there as good as I wanted to. It is a good shot. Technically I got the shot, but I kind of messed up the framing a little bit, so that's fine. It's definitely a cool photo though. And I'll probably sit on it a little bit. I'll probably try to get it the way that I really want it, but I also like, you know, I don't want to waste all my time on one shot when it's kind of like that one might just do. I have the hardest time like putting it into words. Like if you could put a suction cup onto my forehead like Dr. Emmett Brown in Back to the Future and like suck then you'd be able to feel.
Just the act of being out, taking pictures, messing around, kind of watching people do their stuff, you know, like I'm a people watcher. Yep, sorry.